Or you can.
All right, we're live on the internet.
All right, 30 seconds till we go live internationally.
I guess it is internationally.
Universally. Freak Radio Network coming up. Let's go look at shot. Turn that volume down.
Why am I blistering your
We got
ear?
15. We got 12.
Not crap, I don't have my water.
Correct.
5, 4, 3, 2, and Unosco.
If you won the Talladega 500 and they gave you a wreath, wouldn't you wear it too?
But I don't know if I really knew the true meaning of freedom till I stepped foot on Talladega Boulevard.
I wouldn't call it a fun time, but it turned out to be one of the more fun times, challenging times for sure.
And you're happy that you did that, right?
No, not at all. She's happy I did that, so that's great. There was nothing fun about that.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire.
Rock on, baby!
I am serious. Here's the Freaks.
So you thought you had yourself a top 5, and you're starting to collect all that dough from your good friends at the Money Stop because of what transpired Sunday afternoon at Talladega? Well, I got news for you there, Skipjack. If you had Joey Logano finishing in the top 5 or Ryan Preece finishing, no. All things have changed now that Joey Logano and Ryan Preece have been disqualified from the final results from Talladega, Freak Nation. Welcome to a Sunday night, Monday morning, depending on when the hell or where the hell you're watching the Freak Nation. Cole Cusimano, Richard C. Suave, yours truly, Crasher. We're all here. Coming up, Tony Stewart will be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Cletus McFarland will be here in the Freak Nation. I think Cletus or Garrett, one of the two, they will be here in the Freak Nation. Crasher had a chance to catch up with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch will be here in the Freak Nation. And you people are still bitching about the NASCAR race? Really? After what we saw in Martinsville, Bristol, and whatever the hell else that was we saw in there? What was it? Martinsville,
Darlington.
Bristol, and Darlington? Really? You're still bitching about it? We'll get to all that coming up here in the Freak Nation. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, or X as the kids call it nowadays, Facebook, and of course Instagram, watching us on YouTube. How you doing, man? Speedfreaks.tv. It's speedfreaks.tv is the website. So this happened as we're preparing for this show to drop. Cole Cusimano, somebody yelled upstairs and to the penthouse and said, dude, we got to change up the show a little bit here because Joey Logano had a jacked up spoiler. Is that the result there, Cole Cusimano?
There were actually 2 spoiler penalties to come out of this. So yeah, Joey Logano, spoiler alert, there we go. Joey Logano missing a spoiler bolt, disqualified from his first 5th place finish of the season. Ryan Preece, runner-up, disqualified for too many spoiler shims, 3 instead of 2.
Whoa, what'd you just say?
Too many spoiler shims.
That is a name that I would make up.
Spoiler shims.
It's a band name.
That's a band name, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Welcome
please,
to the stage.
Spoiler shims. I know what a shim is. I just didn't know there were shims in the spoilers on these cup cars.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ryan Preece had one too many.
Yeah.
Does it say you're supposed to have 7 and he had, what, 13?
2. Supposed to have 2.
How many did he have?
3.
He had one too many.
One more. One
2
too
plus
many.
1 equals 3.
Okay, how do you not count? How do you not count to 3 or to 2? You can't tell me that someone screwed this up.
It's
Right?
yeah, cheating. Cheater!
But
Got
the
it.
Logano one, on the other hand, and we were talking with Cody about this before we went live, Logano will probably win his appeal, I would imagine.
I wouldn't say probably. No, don't say that.
It's Penske. You kidding me?
But who had a similar issue, a missing bolt from the spoiler from Atlanta, and won their appeal?
Chase Briscoe, Daytona.
Boom, 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 boom. Let's see what happens.
Well, as of this freaking show, Freak
I
Nation,
know.
Logano and Preece, they sit 38th and 39th, respectively. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So there you go, Freak Nation. Regardless, Austin Cindric, he's at this point, he is now into the playoffs with that big win at Talladega, but it still seems that the headlines aren't necessarily Logano and Preece getting the boot from disqualification. It's that some folks were still pretty freaking bored with this race. Depending on how you look at it, and I don't know if Richie wants to get into the purity of racing again.
You know what? No. Hold on a second. Sorry, didn't mean to really, really freak you out.
Bam.
The purity of racing. Hey, Richie, what did you do today during this 188-lap, 500-mile race at Talladega?
I'm so glad you brought this up. I gotta talk right to the camera for this.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so people like to take naps during NASCAR races a lot of time. They're 3 hours long. There's a little bit of lull in the middle. Today they were running, I don't know, I wouldn't put a number on it. I don't know, less than 100% throttle. I'll put it that way. So they were running at less than 100%. So instead of taking a nap during the middle of today's race, I decided I'm kind of bored by this in the middle of the race.
What lap did you decide that?
This was like end of stage one. End of stage one. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bust out the old sim rig. And I busted out the sim rig and I hopped in to play F1 23. And I ran an entire 66-lap race for an hour and 20 minutes. I finished 7th. I also had to fuel save because I underfueled my car, but I did come in 7th in a 66-lap race. And by the time I finished that 1 hour and 20-minute race, there were still 25 laps left in the NASCAR race. And I was able to catch the finish. And I don't think I missed a single darn thing, guys, in that entire hour and 20 minutes.
Victory.
You did?
Man.
Wait, what?
Victory.
You did miss. There were passes. It was still edge of your seat, 4 wide most of the time.
That was my argument. Mr. F1, the only time you get 4 wide racing in that is when they're doing fan salutes in open wheel. He had 4 wide racing the entire time during this freaking Talladega race.
I mean, that was cool, but I got bored with it like after, I don't know, the first stage. I was like, oh, damn, this is really cool. This is 4 wide, almost 200 miles per hour. That's like pretty damn impressive. And then it became monotonous after a while. And then that's when I decided to hop in the sim instead. So join me in the sim racing community instead of watching next week at Texas.
Cole Cusimano got a little heavy-eyed during the race, didn't he?
By the end of stage 2, middle of stage 2, I was definitely a little bit heavy-eyed, but it was an entertaining race. I enjoyed that it was like a natural race. It played out how it was supposed to. Nobody got hurt. There was still some pretty nasty wrecks, so it was entertaining enough for me. I appreciate when it's like an actual like natural race.
But go ahead, Crasher.
I would agree with that. I don't understand the hate or the complaining, at least, for this Talladega race. Because, I was still edge of my seat. Yeah, okay, there was a time when I closed my eyes for a little bit. It was maybe 10 laps, I think. Mm-hmm. But, yes, I was constantly edge of my seat, not knowing what was going to happen next, kind of sort of anticipating the big one. I don't want to see the big one, but I kind of felt like, it could happen at any moment. I was satisfied with a clean finish. But I still think this race gave people exactly what they like out of superspeedway racing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why people are so overreactionary about it. Like it's like the worst thing that they ever saw was that it was people. These guys, these professional race car drivers, were able to stick these big ass race cars side by side by side by side at 195 miles an hour. And if you're listening to the NASCAR community online, and you just read the comments, they're acting like they were watching a funeral procession. For 500 miles. Yeah, go read the comments on anywhere. Like you listen to NASCAR Twitter and they're like, what the crap is this? I was talking to somebody on the Speed Freaks Twitter earlier and he was like, this is crap. And he was dropping profanities on me. I was like, can you explain Ryan? He was like, this isn't racing. I was like,
what's not racing
then
about
there's no pleasing you then. It's like the Austin Powers in Gold member. Then there's no pleasing you. That's what I felt like today to the NASCAR fans.
They just look for anything to complain about, NASCAR fans. That's the bottom line. It's sad, really, if you think about it.
What will excite you then? Yeah, that's. Have we
a road course for your final race in the Cup Series?
We talked about
your
that
championship
on Wednesday.
race. That's what will excite me. Damn it.
Well, wait. What did you think today?
I'm on the fence. I'm a little raw from sitting on the damn fence. It's like, yeah. We got to do something about these damn front ends, man, of these cars. Mm-hmm. You want these guys to have the freedom to know that they can dip outside of the rear end of that car in front of them and have the ability at least to go 5 wide and pass, or just get around that freaking car in front of them to do some passing. Something. I didn't. What did the old men say? It didn't blow up my skirt. It didn't.
Are you Scottish now?
I mean, yeah, I've been to Talladega numerous times, seeing all that horsepower, bumper to bumper, 4 wide. It is gnarly to see it live. Mm-hmm. But again, for 2.5, 3 hours, however long this race was on Sunday, I found things to do. I went out, I put some new drip nozzles on my sprinkler system during the race. I did. It's like, okay, if this is what we're going to have for 30, 45 minutes, let me get some S done and go out and do some yard work. Not a problem with that. By the way, Penske released a statement saying the team accepts the disqualification.
Hey.
So there you go.
Oh, so they're admitting to being cheaters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. A missing bolt, like it did with Briscoe, allegedly, that can happen in any sort of part of this race because of, like Cody was explaining to us, the super flex of this bumper. A bolt can come off easily. Yet they're not going to appeal
late
that?
now.
Yeah, why just
Too
concede?
late now, no appeal.
Why concede? It doesn't
Why-
make any
I don't-
sense.
yeah.
Play stupid at least. Why? I don't get it.
I don't get that either. Ooh.
There's got to be, there's other things going on behind the scenes.
I know why they did it. It's because they don't want the appeal to go. They don't want to appeal it, and then they try to go back on Cindric and find something wrong with Cindric's car. So they don't want distractions. They don't want any more. They don't want anybody to dig any deeper. Yeah.
I think you're partially right. If Cindric did not win that race, and in all honesty, I want to believe that in good faith they don't want to take anything away from Austin Cindric.
All right. It's just odd. Within
Speed Freaks Mojo is what
not
it is.
even an hour, they release a statement. That's weird.
Yep. Freak Nation, we will hear from Austin Cindric, which, by the way, it's the Speed Freaks Mojo. He was in the Freak Nation a couple of weeks ago, goes out and wins this freaking race. Congratulations there, Skipjack. We'll hear from Austin Cindric, also Kyle Busch, Tony Stewart. Almost said Booger McFarland, Cletus McFarland. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Well, Freak Nation, it's that time of the year when General Tire would like to hand you some cold, hard cash. Now through the end of April, purchase a set of 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire and get up to $80 back on a Visa prepaid card. Plus, if you purchase the 4 qualifying passenger tires with your General Tire credit card, you can get up to an additional $80 added to your Visa prepaid card. For more information, hit them up, GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your link to your exclusive offer. Text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This freaking segment is brought to you by our friends at Lucas Oil. Now, what automobile do you have in the garage? I bet Lucas Oil could keep that thing fat and happy and on the road. From everyday car care, heavy-duty trucking to agriculture, hot rods, classic cars, motorcycles, and marine, Lucas Oil has what you need to keep those engines, interiors, and exteriors looking like and running like they're supposed to be. For more information, go to the website, lucasoil.com, and find the perfect Lucas Oil product. Keep your rides on the road. Major props to Program Director Dino Costa. Thank you for allowing the Freak Nation to join Salt Lake City. Throughout the Salt Lake City Valley and all of Utah, AM 1550, SLC Sports Radio. The Freak Nation, another radio affiliate, joins Crash, Kenny, Richard C. Suave, Cole Cusimano. Congratulations, you guys being a part of 25 freaking years of Speed Freaks, where we started on one little old radio station in Los Angeles. Actually, it was a freaking burner.
I said that wasn't a little old station.
Freaking torched. And again, we're on many, many radio stations across the country. YouTube, Facebook Live, Instagram, and of course on Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern Pacific on Racer Network, formerly MAV TV. Coming up, Kyle Busch will be in here. Tony Stewart, Cletus McFarland will be here in the Freak Nation. Desert Storm, there's a boat wreck that happened on Lake Havasu that we're going to show coming up next hour. Crasher, you and I were part of that coverage about 14, 15 years ago.
Mid-2000s, right? Yeah. Maybe later? It was a while ago, though. We did it for Lucas Oil and MAV TV back in the day. Anyway, we'll get to that coming up in the second hour. Austin Cindric, back up just a second. You're just tuning into the Freak Nation. Joe Logano, Ryan Preece have been disqualified due to spoiler issues. And according to Roger Penske Motorsports, they are not going to appeal the decision because his teammate, Austin Cindric, won the damn race. That's not what the statement said. That's not what the statement said. That's what you assumed.
But Cole Cusimano, you've got our good friend Austin Cindric post-race talking about his big win, getting his ticket punched for the playoffs.
Yeah, this is Austin Cindric's third win in the Cup Series. Love seeing him get to victory lane because he's just always a great interview and just a really great dude in general. But for I think our first clip we have lined up here, this is on Austin Cindric getting Team Penske's first win in 2025, and after being so fast on the drafting track but coming up short to this point, finally getting that win.
I mean, I think if you're not building, you're failing. So for us, it's been a constant progression. You know, I feel like you saw that in the playoffs with this team, and you know, I wouldn't. There's not a single man on this team on this 2-car that I would change or swap out or think that somebody else could do a better job. You know, I think the belief is there. You know, the process is there. The mentality is similar, and we're all pushing in the right direction, in the same direction. And I feel like a race like this just continues to solidify that for us. And it's what makes going to work exciting for me. It's why I show up to the shop most days. It's why I put so much into it, and I believe that's reciprocated, you know, from everybody from the top down on this 2-car.
That was actually Austin Cindric on being competitive in all 10 races this season thus far. Here is Austin Cindric on winning this race for Team Penske at Talladega.
I don't believe in luck. I believe in the law of averages, and you know, my faith continues to be restored. Sometimes I have to have more patience in the law of averages, but you know, you keep swinging the bat the right way, and eventually you're going to hit a homer. And like I said before, the guys on the team and everybody, you know, it knocked it out of the park there that final stage.
Look at all those baseball references.
Yeah, tis the season, right?
Valid.
Now, in this race, Austin Cindric obviously won. Runner-up was Ryan Preece, but behind them were two Hendrick Chevys in Kyle Larson and William Byron. Here is what Austin Cindric had to say about holding off those two Hendrick Chevys and sort of his key to victory, if you will, at Talladega.
Yeah, I felt like the key to winning that race there for me, maybe not the key, but one of the keys was the 60 car getting clear, because I was in a position to where I don't think that, I would have been able to expect a Hendrick car to push me past another Hendrick car for a win. Shoes on the other foot. I don't see that happening, for us either. So, being able to having that 60 car clear and basically just having two Hendrick pushers, and at that point, those guys are just selfishly trying to, get points and push the line forward to where they can get clear. So, I thought that was pretty critical because, I feel like those guys, always find a way to the front together, and they were definitely in a position to contribute for their own company.
Real quick, can we mention that nobody's mentioned this yet? What does he have on his shoulders there?
The wreath. The winning wreath.
The winning wreath.
Yes, the Talladega wreath. I mean, for a guy, I tweeted this actually, X'd it, whatever we're calling it. For a guy that grew up really loving the Indy 500, as Austin Cindric did, through his grandparents and obviously his father, loving that Borg Warner wreath, and the wreath that you get when you win the Indy 500, he has a genuine love for this Talladega wreath. It's all about the wreath for him, and as you can tell, this one is ginormous. It looks a little odd. I would like to see him put his tuba through there and maybe just kind of play the tuba in his little victory speech. But yeah, it is interesting to see this wreath. It's ginormous.
He was actually asked if he was going to bring it on the plane with him, leaving Talladega, and he said he's going to try. He doesn't know if it's going to be possible, but he's definitely going to try it out. So we'll I guess, stay tuned to his X to see if that works out. But
well, he's not flying commercial, is he?
Beats me. You never know.
Because I don't think that would go in the overhead bin. But I would imagine.
Commercial.
Yeah, I would imagine he's on a private plane, and yes, he'll be able to take it on.
Yeah, probably. But so he said the key to this race was basically keeping the Hendrick cars at bay. I think if you were to ask us and the general masses and even some of the drivers in the field, the key would be just being out front, because it's so hard to pass with this Gen 7 car. And this is Austin Cindric kind of talking about the complexion of the racing on drafting tracks with this current car.
The package itself hasn't changed. The tires themselves haven't changed. The track itself hasn't changed. It's the only thing I think in this next-gen era that hasn't changed other than a few bits and pieces. So, from that standpoint, it is solely about the decisions of the drivers and the teams and being able to react to that. So whether if that was easy or hard, there's plenty of times today that I was trapped in lanes that I didn't want to be in. So it's about understanding that and finding a way. And if not, let others find a way and show you the way. So it's a very odd type of racing, and it's very difficult to explain, especially now with all the dynamics that we have that aren't just about the racing, about the strategy, about the packages, about strengths and weaknesses as an OEM. So there's a lot going on that's I guess hard to describe to someone who's just watching the TV screen.
Strengths and weaknesses. Sorry, Kenny, to cut you off. Strengths and weaknesses of an OEM. Bring me to that mid-race. Oh, sorry, you missed this, Richie, because you were driving your F1 sim.
Yep.
You were in your rig. But it brings me to the very vitriolic Joey Logano quote mid-race.
Where I was headed.
Okay, yeah, where he was mother effing Austin Cindric over and over. Oh, the end of stage 2 is when that was.
Yep.
Yes, because Cindric didn't help push Logano across the line first. Woo! Speaking of those OEMs, huh? So that's where you were going. Sorry to interrupt.
I said, is anybody going to bring up the fact that
Okay.
he was mother effing Austin Cindric? The dude that was disqualified, Joey freaking Logano?
Yeah, that's why he didn't want to push him. He knew he already lost a bolt. He's like, I want nothing to do with this.
Yep, guilty by association, right?
We got one more soundbite from Skipjack?
We do, and this is my favorite one that he actually gave during his presser. So Austin Cindric, again, was the first driver from Team Penske to go to victory lane for that stable in 2025. This is him talking about if it gives him any motivation being the first of those 3 drivers to find victory lane this season.
Yeah, I think certainly anytime you can have an example set and trying to, at a bare minimum, not just meet that example, but, I want to be better. I want to be the best, right? And just being as good, in my mind, as far-fetched as it might seem as a 2-3 year Cup driver to say, I want to be better than the champion. That's how you got to think. I commit way too much of my time. I ask a lot out of the people that I work with, and I try to reciprocate with that. But the as good is not good enough in my mind. So is it a motivator? Perhaps. I look at it as an example and as a competitive advantage for us to be able to have that type of example in-house.
Okay, sorry. Can we do like a shot of him, like a frozen shot with that wreath? Is that wreath bigger? I mean, we're just going to go with that instead of his comments.
Sure.
Is that wreath bigger than what they're going to be wearing at the Kentucky Derby this coming up weekend? Because that's a big-ass wreath, too. I think, yes. I think Austin Cindric has the biggest wreath coming up of any event in May. Austin Cindric is kicking off the wreath month with the biggest prize.
I'd rather have that wreath than the grandfather clock from Martinsville. Absolutely.
Definitely. Big wreath for a big dude, right?
Hey, hello.
Hey, am I the only D-bag here? I remember a freaking wreath being associated with Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Denny Hamlin made a big deal out of it when he went on that tear late 20.
Got it. I could see it with freaking Pocono because of the horse racing and so forth, but the hell does a wreath have to do with that? Listen.
Big tracks.
You go into freaking Talladega Boulevard, 99% of the people couldn't spell wreath if you spotted them with a W.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. All right, we got a break.
They're drinking.
Coming up, Kyle Busch, speaking of Cletus McFarland and his run on Talladega Boulevard. Yes. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Well, Freak Nation, it's that time of the year when General Tire would like to hand you some cold, hard cash. Now through the end of April, purchase a set of 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire and get up to $80 back on a Visa prepaid card. Plus, if you purchase the 4 qualifying passenger tires with your General Tire credit card, you can get up to an additional $80 added to your Visa prepaid card. For more information, hit them up, GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your link to your exclusive offer. Text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This freaking segment's brought to you by good friends at General Tire and the Grabber HT. The Grabber HT is a long-lasting, all-season touring tire for crossovers, light trucks, and SUVs. Developed for year-round traction, this tire comes complete with a replacement tire monitor and visual alignment indicators, which aid in detecting tire wear. For more information, go to GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of the freaks for over 2 decades. We were talking about this in our pre-show meeting, and actually on our snappy little text thread when it came to Talladega. Cole Cusimano kind of shut it down a little bit because he said they were talking about this in Daytona and well before this, but I don't remember all of this conversation about fuel conservation when it came to this race at Talladega and the instance that I saw from Jeff Gluck, how the drivers started their engines on drivers start their engines, then shortly thereafter turned their cars off because they wanted to conserve this fuel for this race. I didn't realize that it was such a point of interest for these teams to conserve this much fuel. I get fuel conservation, but it was talked about on the broadcast. Unfortunately, it wasn't really elaborated on to give me a clue of really why this was so important for this race, this time in particular, for me. Anybody got anything else on this?
I mean, I feel like since I've been watching NASCAR, fuel conservation has always been a point of emphasis at the drafting tracks. I don't know why it's such a big deal right now to complain about it.
Right.
Maybe it might be more pronounced with the Gen 7 car, and just as strategies have evolved, technologies evolved, it's been more, easier or more complex to predict. But it did play a factor because Austin Cindric was among those last cars to pit in the race, and they did not spend as much time on pit road as the Toyotas.
Because of conserving fuel.
Exactly. So they didn't have to stay there as long and put too much fuel in the car to make it to the end. So that led to the race-winning car in Austin Cindric.
But then we go to the 100% rule. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be driving at 100%. We had none of that today. Final lap.
Explain yourself, because I had to have Cole explain that to me once again because of the new rule or updated.
Yeah, they made revisions in the offseason. It was because of the Martinsville race last year where the teams were helping manufacturers make the championship 4. But the 100% rule is basically you should be racing 100% the entire race. And if NASCAR finds that you're, lagging back or manipulating the race, they could be repercussions. So I actually posed this question at Daytona because people were complaining again, naturally, about fuel conservation going all out until the final 5-10 laps.
Right.
Why wouldn't that be, implemented for a drafting track like Talladega or Daytona?
Exactly.
Doesn't make much sense to me.
But people gave you flack for that?
Yeah.
It's a rule. Mm-hmm. Go 100%. But then you questioned it, and people gave you flack. It's like, what?
Right. You just can't
Why
win.
make a rule then?
Yeah.
And yes, obviously, fuel conservation has been a part of motorsports forever. But for a large superspeedway race, such as Talladega, starting the race with this mentality and conserving from lap 1, that just blows my mind and just takes everything out of I still enjoyed watching the race, but it just makes it a strategy that just isn't fun for 188 laps. I'm not a fan.
Again, I'm a little raw from sitting on the fence with this race. It didn't overwhelm me with excitement. Didn't disappoint me to a degree where I wanted to throw something at the television. It's just like, okay. But typically that's not Talladega for me. That's not Atlanta. That's not Daytona. It's not superspeedway racing for me. We talked about it last week, how I enjoy these races because outside of a road course and maybe Bristol inside the playoffs, it keeps my interest the entire time. But this one, like I said, about midway through stage 2, it's like, I need to go replace some drips out there on the sprinklers. I'm going to admit it. It's okay.
It's all right. Richie was racing his F1 rig.
Yeah, I found an article I shared with you guys earlier in our text thread, and I put it out on Twitter as well. Interview with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., where he kind of dove pretty deep into this and explained why this is the case now. And I'm not going to obviously read the whole. You can go check it out. It's on formotorsport.com. But he dove deeper into it than anything on the Fox broadcast. I don't know if you guys caught this. I sure as crap didn't, but they didn't talk anything about why this fuel save was so important. So this is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He says, tires don't mean anything for the most part. The only thing that matters is how much fuel you have in your car. So I guess no matter what, if you shorten the stages and you can make it all the way on fuel, you are still trying to save so that your stop between the stages is shorter. Stenhouse went on to say, I don't see a way that you can drastically change it to not ride around and save fuel. It's just the way things are now. And I think that a lot has to do with the car more so than anything else. Crash, we were talking about this before the show, mentioning that you thought it was just get rid of the stages and that will change things. And
well, the stage cautions.
The stage cautions.
I don't mind
yes.
the stages staying, but because he even just referenced that,
yeah.
saying that you're saving for that automatic yellow flag that's coming at the end of stage 1 and then the other one at the end of stage 2 in order to make those stops so quick.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, but what if those didn't exist? What if you had to naturally race to whenever that next
I don't think that's the thing.
That's going to be?
That's not, in theory, that would be great, right? But we saw it in practice today in the third stage where they were racing to the checkered flag to win the race. And they were still saving the entirety of that third stage.
But and that happens in other races. I feel like that was more organic. I mean, to do that from lap 1, though, I just...
Well, Cole, you brought up a point about the last race of Talladega, their speed.
Yeah. So actually, Seth Eggert pointed this out. On the final lap of the race, 19 of the top 20 drivers turned their fastest lap of the race. So it was, clear as day. They were definitely saving the entire race and going all out in the final lap for the win, which, as you should, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to me that you're not racing 100% for that entire race, you know?
Are we trying to make something out of nothing with this?
No, I think there is something here.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the National Basketball Association. Some teams won't play their stars because they want to rest them, and the fans get pissed off. It's like I paid my money to see Luka. I paid my money to see Leonard. I just paid my money to see these superstars, and maybe it gets to a point where it's like, dude, I paid my money for you guys to go balls out for the full how many laps?
188.
188 laps.
Yeah,
500
I paid
miles.
my money to see 195 miles an hour, not 185.
Yeah.
I mean, can you really tell? No, but you know it.
Right.
But wouldn't things change, though, if the aerodynamics of this effing Generation 2 freaking mini car, the downforce was a little different, right?
Definitely could be. I mean, you might see more guys try to formulate runs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That could be it.
God damn. I just can't imagine being a race car driver and having to sit there on some guy's bumper.
75%.
Just... What? That's not racing. That's not purity,
Yeah,
Richie.
I was giving Kyle Larson crap. Cole before the in between our last super speedway, which was Atlanta and Talladega. Cole and I put together a little bet. Cole saying that he believes that Kyle Larson is going to win a super speedway race before the end of the season. And I was very critical of Kyle Larson on super speedways, and I said he's not really the best driver in the world if he can't win on one of the tracks that makes up a sixth of your schedule. And today is the perfect call, because what happened? What happened? He had a chance to win this race. He was in second in line on the bottom, which is normally a pretty good place to be on a super speedway. However, Cole, what did he do? He just stayed there. That's it. He just stayed behind Ryan Preece the entire time. It was like, okay, Ryan, you can win the race.
Cole, just go.
Listen,
no, he was behind Cindric.
I want to light him up too. Just go.
I had the Kyle Larson hat in my shopping cart ready to be delivered for next week because I was that sure he was going to win this race.
But why didn't he make the move?
Because
he
he couldn't.
Sat there.
He literally couldn't.
He couldn't move, Richie.
He spoke on this. Byron spoke on this. Every driver in the field spoke on this. You just cannot make a pass with this car. There's too much downforce.
But I don't understand why none of them even tried.
Oh, they tried?
Well,
They
he would've
say
plummeted.
that, but why did none of them make, at least from what I saw in those last 5 laps, and I only saw a little bit of it because they were at Fox Sports was at commercial for the last 10 laps of the race. Saw nobody tried to move out, get out of their lane and try something. And if it failed, so what? Especially if you're William Byron and Kyle Larson, who've already won races this year. Instead,
well, what Kyle Larson did though was he backed off in order to try to build a gap and then get a run going.
Right.
Yes,
he tried
and
to
that
get the
failed.
run, but then he
Did you want him to hook him? You would be mother effing freaking Kyle Larson if he hooked him, Richie.
No.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's done it before at Talladega and Daytona, so it's not wouldn't be the first time.
Can I just brag a little bit about the Kyle Larson call real quick?
Yes.
So, with the disqualification, Kyle Larson finished his second in this race.
Okay.
That means he finished third
Cool.
at Atlanta,
He's still-
second this week. He scored the most points in this race, too. He won
cool.
stage 1. The guy's good. The guy's damn good at racing.
He can't win.
And on drafting tracks.
He can't win on super speedways. That has yet to happen for a reason.
You got second.
We'll see.
He is better. He is better at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in an Indy car than he is in the NASCAR Gen 7 on super speedways.
Blame the Gen 7.
no.
Blame the Gen 7, though.
He couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything.
He won a stage.
Hey,
won a
get
stage,
outta
got
here.
third.
Take second or third, or plummet back and finish like
I want
12th.
to try to win the damn race. You play to win the game, Herm Edwards.
Herm Edwards, there we go.
Oh, no.
Back to you, Kenny.
Nice Jets drop.
I ain't got nothing, man. I ain't got nothing. I'm just hoping Texas can drop some bombs out there to provide some excitement for me, because yours truly will be hanging out with my good friend David Hart there in the media center in the Freak Nation studio. Hey, save the room for us, guys. Wish I could get all you bastards out there. We'd be jam-packed in that sumbitch.
It is about as big as this table.
But it's awesome.
Actually, just kidding. It's a big room.
It's awesome.
Good save.
Yeah.
It's a great freaking room.
No, it is. It is. You walk into the media center. It's immediately and it is.
We've had some
our
legendary interviews in that
exclusive
son of a
room.
gun. I was there last year, right, with Chase Elliott? Is that right? When he won in the Hooters car? Is that last year or year before?
Two years ago.
Was it?
2 years ago.
All right. We'll have the winner on.
I had Carson host.
Cowboy hat, baby. Come on.
Yeah. And I'm told I'm going to be interviewing Kevin Harvick. He's getting inducted into the Texas Motor Speedway Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, spent time with Cage.
Cage.
All right. Freak Nation. His name is Kyle Busch. Crasher had a chance to catch up with FB.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah,
Kyle
That's next.
frickin' Busch.
Speed Freaks Butch. Well, hello. Next.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This is a paid sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Don't wait. For your link to your exclusive offer, text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for 2 decades.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine. Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, thank you guys for being a part of Speed Freaks. And again, you can watch us on Racer Network Mondays 12 Eastern and Pacific, or you can do it live Sunday nights on YouTube and Facebook Live. This segment brought to you by good friends at Straight Talk Wireless. You need more data to stream your jams and to stream Speed Freaks? Do the smart thing, man, and go with a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Crash, you had a chance to catch up with Kyle Busch, and you're about to see some of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Kyle Busch is towards the latter part of his racing career. So I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes with him to talk about maybe some bucket lists. And yeah, he's not given up on that greatest spectacle in racing just yet.
Chilling here with Kyle Busch. And Kyle, I look at your career. You've had so many incredible things that have gone on in your racing career. Yeah. But arguably, 10 years ago, you started the season in the hospital and then went on to win the championship. Do you ever, or how often, do you look back on that season for some sort of inspiration?
Yeah, honestly, not much. I just kind of recall it or remember it, or you're at autograph signings or something like that, and somebody brings up the green crispy M&M's car, So there's a few good times where you're just kind of like, oh yeah, I remember all that, and the pain and suffering that you went through in the beginning of the year, but then the triumph and jubilation that you got at the end of the year. So it was I wouldn't call it a fun time, but it turned out to be one of the more fun times, challenging times for sure.
I'm bringing this up though because in all of sports, that is one of the greatest impact stories, and I don't think it gets enough attention. Yeah. Maybe you don't want it to get enough attention, but it ended well. All's well that ends well.
Absolutely, no, it certainly ended well. I think Coach Gibbs even said that too once upon a time, where this is probably one of the greatest war stories in sports, and so I take honor because there's not a lot of times is there guys that get injured in our sport, right? But then have the opportunity to sit out for weeks, but then come back. And other times you see it in football or baseball or whatever. And those guys, they come back, but maybe they're just not quite as the player that they once were before. So I think that's pretty sweet.
That era of racing to now, and this is not a question about JGR versus RCR. This is not a question of Toyota versus Chevy. It's not a question of anything except for Kyle Busch. What is different in your preparation for getting in the race car, or even maybe out of the race car, then versus now?
Not much really. You watch the film during the week. I would say, 10 years ago, we probably didn't have SMT. I think SMT came on in like 17 or 18. So that's when you started looking at the data of drivers and what they were doing, and you would get that catalog of data and information from races and stuff like that you could always go back through and look through. But watching races and checking out what's going on, looking through your notes, you have your driver pre-brief that they send to you of like, hey, this is what we have in the car this week, and these are some of the notes that we've taken from the last couple times that we've been here. So just kind of a refresher of going back to these particular places.
When do you get those in the week?
Thursday.
That seems kind of close to the race weekend.
Yeah, well, if I read it on Tuesday, I'll forget by Thursday. So I told him, I was like, I want it on Thursday. So then I read it on Friday, and on Friday, and I'm ready to go.
I noticed you really studying a lot of stuff in the pits after you got out of the car with practice. So that's just another part of it. It's the next level, the next day, the next whatever it takes on that weekend.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even, after practice and qualifying's over, like you'll go through and they'll send you more data of compares from other drivers that were fast, and figuring out how were they fast, what were they doing on the front side of a run, how were they fast, what were they doing on the back side of the run, what can I do behind the wheel and changing my driving style on the front side or the back side to help with either one of them.
Bucket list. What is something that you have not yet checked off your racing bucket list?
Obviously the Daytona 500. Of course. Yeah, that's probably number one. Definitely want to win that one. That would certainly be cool. That would basically have accomplished everything in NASCAR there is to accomplish. It only happens once a year, so it's tough to get yourself in that situation as often as you'd like. Especially with just the way the racing now is and the craft of the speedway racing is and kind of seeming is, I'm going to put it 80% luck nowadays versus 20% skills. So, yeah, you got to be in the right place at the right time.
Outside of NASCAR.
Outside of NASCAR bucket list, I don't know. That's a good one. Indy 500 would certainly be cool. I know I'm getting older, so I'm definitely.
Jimmy Johnson did it at an old age.
Yeah. I want to win. I want to be competitive, and so sooner the better. But getting a little bit older on that. I have always kind of said like that would be cool, but hearing all the horror stories of the things that kind of go on down there during that week, I don't know if I'm down for that. So we'll see.
You could have a chase vehicle, and Randall could be in the chase vehicle, just helping you, making sure you're okay. You can do it.
Maybe I'll just be the chase vehicle. Maybe I'll be the helicopter guy that's just like above the racing going on.
We've got a chopper for that, so you're good to go.
That's right.
Thanks, Kyle.
No problem. Good to see you guys.
Crash, I know you want to talk about the Indy 500 here in just a moment.
Duh.
Is that okay?
Yes.
But maybe you can talk about it now because I lost my train of thought.
Oh, come on. Talking about him doing the Baja 1000.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was something else. Oh, with Austin Hill winning again. Won Talladega. Jesse Love with the top three.
Yes, third.
And these are in the Xfinity Series. Both of these guys running for championships in the Xfinity Series. Did any animosity between the Cup and the Xfinity Series teams because of really they haven't been performing anywhere close to what the Xfinity teams have been doing with RCR?
No, I have not, and it's because the cars are just different.
Thank you. I understand that.
More to live in.
Yeah.
More later, Bob.
But still, you have two guys running for a championship. Austin Dillon can't get out of his own way. Not that he even really wants to. But Kyle Busch, the guy could drive the S out of a car.
Right. You have a car today. Oh, it just.
Yep.
I mean, he had the luxury, talking about Kyle Busch at Talladega, he had the luxury of falling back immediately and being able to figure out, okay, this is my car in traffic. This is what it's going to do. If at the end of the race we get fresh tires and we've got the fuel level similar, and oh my gosh. And then he got caught up in a wreck. Yeah, that all goes out the window. That's Talladega.
Do you know how he got in that wreck, though?
Slowing down for the pits?
Speeding. He was speeding. That's why he was in the back.
That was on his way to the second pit stop?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he was in the back because of speeding in the pits before.
Yep.
Womp womp.
Speaking of not getting out of his own way. Okay, Indy 500. He had a ride lined up at one time.
Yep.
Correct?
Just a couple years ago, yes. And there is another NASCAR driver in that ride. He wants it to happen. I think that it can happen, but like you just saw in that interview, he wants a car. So who is that going to be? That's going to be Roger Penske, Chip Ganassi, Errol McLaren. You could argue Ed Carpenter maybe in that. And
maybe Shank.
Ooh, Myers Shank. Duh.
Yep.
Okay. So now you have the Honda versus Chevy contract issue. Arguably, he's going to have to go into a Chevy program. So that takes away Shank. That takes away Ganassi. So then you've got McLaren, Penske, Ed Carpenter. Because it also takes away the Honda issue. We're assuming Honda is going to stay on with IndyCar. And that's a whole other story. But that would also take away the Andretti team. So yeah, it's basically Roger Penske, Team Penske, Errol McLaren, or Ed Carpenter Racing he would have to go with. Errol McLaren has Kyle Larson. So Kyle Larson would have to step out of that ride and they would have to retry it with Kyle Busch. That's essentially who Kyle Busch was lined up to be with. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it at all.
Freaking IndyCar needs something. Listen, his brother. Who was his brother running for?
Andretti,
right?
Ooh, he did so.
Who had a
well.
freaking shot to win that damn thing?
Oh wow!
I mean, we know Allmendinger is meant for that freaking series.
Allmendinger, the last time he was in the Indy 500 for the captain. See if this sounds familiar, IndyCar fans. Seatbelt issue.
Yep.
Seatbelt issue. Isn't that what Will Power just had in Long Beach? Or Joseph Newgarden?
Newgarden.
Come on. Roger Penske's IndyCar team and seatbelt issues. Wasn't Allmendinger leading that Indy 500? Oh, just.
So there you go, Freak Nation. Kyle Busch here with Crash Glass. That was just prior to Martinsville. Correctamundo.
Yes.
And the next time you see Lucas Oil as the primary on the car is going to be in Mexico City there, Skipjack.
And you're going to be the guest of honor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going to get in there Friday afternoon. Going to head right to the hotel, take a nap, head to the trackside.
What? There's going to be a lot of fun stuff going around that
Yes,
venue.
I agree.
You should, come on. Just
What?
get Suarez to take you around.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, right. He's going to kind of be in demand.
He is going to be the most popular person in all of Mexico come that weekend, right?
Yes. We should re-air the interview we did with him at Phoenix before that race because he talks about how how did you phrase it to him, to Daniel Suarez?
He would rather win that race, Mexico City race, than the Daytona 500.
Yep.
Because of what it would mean for him and his country to win the first NASCAR Cup Series race in Mexico City.
And it makes you really want to pull for him to win that race.
All right, we got a break.
All right.
Coming up next hour, Cletus McFarland spent some time in the media center and on the racetrack for the ARCA Series at Talladega. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Also, a hell of a boating accident where they walked away. We'll get to that. It's all coming up. Speed Freaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
This is a paid sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your link to your exclusive offer. Text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
Well, Freak Nation, it's that time of the year when General Tire would like to hand you some cold, hard cash. Now through the end of April, purchase a set of 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire and get up to $80 back on a Visa prepaid card. Plus, if you purchase the 4 qualifying passenger tires with your General Tire credit card, you can get up to an additional $80 added to your Visa prepaid card. For more information, hit them up, GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's right, the Wendy's $5 biggie bag with a junior bacon cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, junior hot and crispy fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited line gold unlimited line gold unlimited line gold unlimited line gold unlimited.
Like other bingo. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bomarito Automotive Group 500.
For more than 30 years, Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
If you won the Talladega 500 and they gave you a wreath, wouldn't you wear it too?
But I don't know if I really knew the true meaning of freedom till I stepped foot on Talladega Boulevard.
I wouldn't call it a fun time, but it turned out to be one of the more fun times, challenging times for sure.
And you're happy that you did that, right?
No, not at all. She's happy I did that, so that's great. There was nothing fun about that.
Please hang up and try again.
Live on the Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios, driven by General Tire.
Rock on, baby!
I am serious. Here's the Freaks.
Freak Nation, coming up this hour, Tony Stewart, a two-parter. You don't want to miss that. We caught up with him and spent about 30, 45 minutes with the guy, so we cut it up to a two-parter, and you'll hear that and see it coming up momentarily here in the Freak Nation. Also, there's something called Desert Storm that happens on Havasu, Lake Havasu, every April. Crasher and I covered it about 15 years ago, and it's where some of the richest swinging D's out there with these huge boats get out there and try and push their boats to about 200 miles per hour. It's not by anybody. There was
It's a poker run.
Kind of.
It's a poker run / let me see how fast I can.
There was a gnarly freaking boat accident where they walked away, Freak Nation, but we'll share that with you coming up sometime this hour. I also want to talk about this dude, Cletus McFarland, who I've been watching the rise of this guy over the last year or so. And it started on YouTube, and once he seemed to cross that plane into NASCAR, that was Daytona, right? Wasn't that Daytona where he actually joined them in the booth and people were going bananas like, who is this Cletus McFarland guy?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
He ran the ARCA race at Talladega, and the guys just got unlimited sound bites. And some of these sound bites make fantastic sense. And I wanted to highlight some of these things he had to say. One in particular, a bit of the third sound bite, that helped back up something that I heard Mike Joy and Kevin Harvick about with these current NASCAR Cup Series drivers and the lack of popularity and the lack of raw emotion and video that we're not seeing from drivers and teams when they have access to some incredible behind-the-scenes activity that we know that fans are clamoring for. It's what Cletus McFarland does. When he blows a rod in his dragster, they show a crappy day, and people love to see people having crappy days. I'd love to see a dude named Cletus having a crappy day regardless. But if you get a chance, look, check out who this guy is. It's Cletus McFarland. It goes by the name of Garrett Mitchell, who, again, is making bananas money via YouTube. He'll show up at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Coming up this Saturday, this
Right.
Friday and Saturday, he's doing the Indy that has kicked off the month of May. It was a spectacular success last year,
Right.
and then hot rod burnouts the very next day. So, Lucas Oil Raceway in Indy on the west side, Claremont, Indiana. Yep, go check it out. Cletus has the entire weekend there.
Richie,
so
I'm going to
get
start
it.
these because I'm on StreamYard. But he's raced against Tony Stewart and a number of other drivers out there in different disciplines. Cletus McFarland made his first visit to Talladega Boulevard. And I got to be honest with you. I've got to drive through it to exit, and I've been to Talladega, I think, 3 times now. And on Saturday night, I'm in the media center just cranking some long hours in there. So I'm blasting out of there at 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I've never stopped. If I stop, who knows what would happen. But what little bit I drive through, you just know it's Sodom and freaking going on in there.
Did you see some blow-up dolls?
I didn't see any blow. I just kept my eyes.
asking.
I kept my eyes on the freaking road.
Okay.
All right.
Valid.
Cletus McFarland talking about his visit to Talladega Boulevard in the infield.
Let me tell you something about the Talladega Boulevard. You know, I preach, just living the freedomatic life of being an American. But I don't know if I really knew the true meaning of freedom till I stepped foot on Talladega Boulevard. I mean, we're parked up and there's just action happening. I can't get into the details because honestly, it's not cool, man. Whatever happens on Talladega Boulevard has to stay there. I would say that if I posted some of the things that we saw, my channel would be deleted. It's just action, It's like you just don't know till you know. You go on Talladega Boulevard, you're seeing purebred Americans enjoying life to the absolute maximum. They love 2 things. That's booze and turning left. You know what I mean? That's Talladega Boulevard down there. And they're just living that life down there. They're just living that life.
You know what? What is I can't think of the daggone account right now. An account that follows nothing but party people in racing. And their huge snake pit in Indy. I would love to have them do a comparison. Talladega Boulevard versus Indy's snake pit. Come on, because the same raucous stuff goes on in both
It's Talladega
areas.
Boulevard because the
Really?
snake pit is during the concert, right? And during the race.
It's during the race, yes, but I mean,
This is
the history of the snake pit and naked people there and beads and couches on fire and
true,
falling off of
Wow. Maybe 1A and 1B.
1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I could go with that. Yeah.
So I mentioned Cletus McFarland. That's, again, his alter ego. Again, his real name is Lawrence Garrett Mitchell. And Jennifer Fryer with AP News asked him
when
about
I first
his...
started the Cletus thing, it was like a redneck persona, and then just slowly Garrett and Cletus have merged into one, and it really depends on the environment, right? Like when I get in trouble and per se have to go to the alcoholic for a chat, that's Garrett. He's going in there. The other night we were at a campground and Jack Stand fired up the water slides and the employees were really mad, and Garrett had to go handle that situation. I had to go talk to the owner, but then when I pulled through the gates of Dega, I'm just Cletus. It's like I really can't control it. I just I don't know. It's a good question, actually. I think I just live my life as both. Try to live my life how I want and have as much fun as possible with my friends. Like winning with your friends is the best, and so we just travel around and have a good time. With your friends is the best, and so we just travel around and have a good time.
And he videos all of his S with iPhones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Easy peasy. Just keep it simple.
Yep. Now, soundbite from him, and maybe we're not going to have a whole lot of time to discuss it, but he was asked by your buddy with
Jacob Seelman, Raceface?
Yeah, Raceface.
Yeah.
I think it was Raceface or Kicking the Tire, one of those guys. And asked about the appeal for Cletus McFarland, and really why we haven't seen it with it take off for NASCAR Cup Series drivers. That raw behind the scenes video.
I do feel like there's a major lack of YouTube opportunity in the garages. Like if I was a Cup guy, I personally would be filming all that stuff. There's so much to show, and I think the audience is kind of begging for it. I think Carson Hocevar specifically is probably doing the most right now with the live streams and stuff. But like, if once someone picks up their iPhone and goes in their garages and is like showing the day-to-day struggles, because to me from the outside, like it just seems like all the Cup teams are like so dialed in, so locked in. But we all know behind the scenes, they're having, some show days, for lack of better words, and we'd love to see it. Like most of my videos that have done the best are on my worst days at the track. Once one driver really throws, some cool, just homemade style YouTube videos up, and it may exist. I just think it's going to do really well for somebody.
As raw and emotional and make as many mistakes as we do will help these younger drivers become more popular with an aging population that's
Automotive Group 500.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
So, Tony, I know that winning the Daytona 500, Indy 500 is a game changer for drivers, but becoming a father, that's a freaking life changer. Now we're 5 months into Dominic's life on this planet. And I ask this because it's familiar. Granted, Henley's 11 years old, but I remember when she was born that things just changed for me, where milestones just changed. They were different. And I've heard this asked of you over the last 24 hours. Have you been able to realize really what you've done in the NHRA? I'm asking something different. Does this first in the NHRA with the Top Fuel win feel different now that you're a father versus all the other firsts in NASCAR, IndyCar, and sprint cars?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It's, you get done with the run, you get to the top end, they do the interview, and then they throw all the winners in the back of a pickup truck and they bring them down to a aluminum stage that they set up really quick after the finals. And the drivers go up there, they do an interview, and the fans get to come on the track and be around the stage and be a part of it. And I'm doing my interview, and Jason turns his head to the left and looks over his shoulder, and it's Leah walking up the steps of that stage with Dominic. And I literally about lost my shit.
Yep.
So it definitely was a game changer for sure. And then, having him in victory lane, and, we've always taken our dogs to victory lane and taken photos with them. And to have not only Leah and Dom there, but my dad in that photo and be in some of those photos together. I mean, that is something that for my dad and for Leah and I, and Dom's not going to remember this day, obviously, but he'll have photos of it down the road. And, I'm not going to lie. There's a part of it when we had Dom that I'm like, that he's never going to see me run a cup race and win a cup race or a championship. He's never going to see me win an IndyCar race or championship. Never going to see me win the Triple Crown. And I don't, who knows what I'm going to drive the rest of my life, but, may or may not see any of it. And just having him there for that moment, even though he's not going to remember, just to have the photos that he was there when I won a race, for me as his father, means a lot to me, more than I ever thought it would.
Freak Nation, his name is Tony Stewart, joining us here in the Freak Nation Lucas Oil Studios. And it sounds like you're in the same place where I am, where any given moment, you mention Dominic's name, you mention Henley's name, I'll just start bawling. It is, which is special, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think that's the great thing about my relationship with Leah and how my life's changed since I've met her. And, this morning it's, we had a rough day yesterday, went to San Antonio to a close friend's wife's funeral yesterday, and didn't really get to celebrate like we wanted to Sunday night because we had to fly to San Antonio. But this morning, waking up and Leah's feeding Dom and then puts him in the center of the bed in between us while we're kind of waking up and getting ready to start our day. I didn't think one moment about the funeral from the day before. I wasn't thinking about the win from Sunday, just thinking about my son and my wife and my family. And that's, I know this is for everybody that's watching this, they're going, what's the big deal? I mean, we all do that. Well, yeah, you're right. It took me 53 years to get to this part though. And everything else that I did was focused on how do I win races and try to contend for race wins and championships. It wasn't about being married. It wasn't about starting a family. And, now today is a perfect example of how much my life's changed, where you look over and you're not thinking about anything but your family and, seeing your wife smile and seeing your son look over first thing in the morning and look over and just smile from ear to ear. It changes you.
It does change you, but I also remember all of those comments of, well, not only when are you going to have a kid, but it changes your life. You're never going to realize it. It's actually true. And I don't know if that's because, like you, Tony, Kenny and I were older. Like I was in my 40s. Kenny was in his 50s when we had Henley. And I don't know if the perspective was just different, and that you're right. We put our playtime and our work focus time behind us, and now it's family time. There's still work and there's still that sort of focus, but every decision made in the business, in racing, in everything is kid related, is Henley related, is Dom related. Is that true for you too?
Yeah, I jokingly tell people, I say we live in a very nice prison here in Lake Havasu City, and the warden is 4.5 months old. So he runs the show around here, and Leah and I have talked about it lately. It's like we're trying to get back to somewhat having our life back, but it all does revolve around him and his schedules and where he's at in the day. So it's just part of it. It's like, as much as we don't even get angry about it, it's like, man, one day we're going to get back to what we used to do. And you talk about being older parents. I mean, being 53 and Leah's 36 right now. I mean, we are kind of set in our ways and what we like and what we dislike and what our days look like. But we don't even get upset about it. We just sit there and go, yeah, this is what we signed up for, just like everybody else. But I think when young adults are in their 20 or early 20s, I mean, their life is evolving and they're starting to create those patterns. When you throw a child in that mix, that's just becomes a part of that routine where we're kind of old. It's kind of the teaching, guy's got a fly that's sitting there trying to fight with me. Before this day's over, he'll be done. But I think for us, we're all set in our ways, and then it's all of a sudden you're trying to throw something into the routine that's not part of your normal routine. But man, we're loving the process of it, and every couple of days there's something that changes with him that I love looking for. And but I can tell you there was nothing like that feeling when she brought him up on that stage and when she brought him to the car to get photos made. That was a pretty cool deal.
Okay, he had a onesie on that said "Dad's first win." Babies grow fast. How many of those damn onesies did you have made? You had to have one for 3 months, one for 6 months, one for 9 months.
I think one of our close friends had that made, and the cool thing was what was on the back of it too, because it had #ThisFamilyWins. And that's something that, my niece, when she was younger, showed horses, and my nephew, he got into go-kart racing for 1.5 years, and then he went to mountain bike racing. And I always told both my niece and nephew, I said, remember something, this family wins. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time that Leah came to our family Christmas, and it wasn't me that said it. My niece walked over and she put her hand on her shoulder and she goes, listen, this family wins. So to see that on his onesie was pretty cool. That kind of something fun that we all say. And obviously Leah being a part of the family now, my niece was saying, listen, you're part of this family, and this family's expected to win, so you better live up to it. So I just thought it was cool on his onesie, and just made the experience Sunday after the race that much better. To I've told people here this over the last 24 hours, really, that it kind of reminded me of 2009. It wasn't about me leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and starting a team with 2 cars, 34th and 36th in points that, could barely get guaranteed spots for the race. When we won the All-Star race there in May with Stewart Haas Racing, and guys were there crying in victory lane, I'm like, what is everybody crying about? And in my mind, all I'm thinking about is all these people said I was going to fail, that I wasn't going to win another race in my career, and we wouldn't be successful. And my attention went from that to what's wrong with these guys. And somebody told me, they said, these guys have never won a cup race before. And I'm like, holy crap, I'd never thought about it. And I think it was really the first time in my life that a win mattered to me more for the guys than it did myself. And it was that way again on Sunday. I mean, almost all these guys have won a race with different teams, but we haven't won a race together. And what I didn't realize is how much of a burden that everybody on the team, I knew Mike Domagala and our crew chief, Neil Straussball, those are our crew chiefs. I knew for Neil in particular, because I knew Neil when she was the co-crew chief when he was the co-crew chief on Leah's car at DSR. And when he came over, just the stress of working for me and the expectations of what we have done with our race teams, getting that first win for TSR with Leah was a big deal to him. But then the added pressure of not only working for TSR, but having the boss drive the car, the pressure that put on him. I knew what that felt like, but being there to celebrate it with Leah and Dom was probably second best. And for myself personally was third on the list. So it's kind of cool that it was a different feel than what you would expect.
Of course, Tony Stewart here in the Freak Nation Go to our YouTube page as well. You can see the full 30 minutes with Smoke. We're only able to drop in about 20 minutes of it, but it's just classic Tony Stewart here in the Freak Nation. Coming up next, we'll start it off with me asking the question, because I observed this after his win in Las Vegas. The excitement of Leah Pruitt, his wife, and of course the mother of his 5-month-old Dominic. She was ecstatic with his win, so much so I thought, man, this win looks like it was bigger for Leah Pruitt than it was for Tony Stewart. So we'll crank it off with that. Also, we started the whole conversation about Tony Stewart cutting the umbilical cord once she gives birth. He wasn't going to do it until he finally did it. And we asked him how he took it in. I mean, you go in there hard. You got to cut that freaking umbilical cord. I did it with my daughter. It's like a wet piece of asparagus, half cooked. TMI. More Tony Stewart next. Speed Freaks Pistol, Soul Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for 2 decades.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 biggie bag with a junior bacon cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, junior hot and crispy fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for professional detail or shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your link to your exclusive offer. Text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1 1/4 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bomarito Automotive Group 500.
Well, Freak Nation, it's that time of the year when General Tire would like to hand you some cold, hard cash. Now through the end of April, purchase a set of 4 qualifying passenger tires from General Tire and get up to $80 back on a Visa prepaid card. Plus, if you purchase the 4 qualifying passenger tires with your General Tire credit card, you can get up to an additional $80 added to your Visa prepaid card. For more information, hit them up, GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for over 2 decades.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, do what smart folks do and go with Straight Talk Wireless. Freak Nation, that's Straight Talk Wireless. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. You need more. Yep, you need more data so you can stream your favorite jams or, of course, stream Speed Freaks when you're on that long road trip. Do what smart folks do. Go with Straight Talk. Again, available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. To continue on with our interview with Tony Stewart. And as I said, tail into that last part of the interview about how excited Leah Pruitt was, I had to ask, man, was that win in Las Vegas, his first Top Fuel win a couple of weeks ago, was it bigger for Leah Pruitt? Tony, that's where I was going to go with this. I took a step back and I saw Leah's excitement. And if you look at what she's had to go through to get to this point, the struggles to end up with a top-notch NHRA team. She's there. She's winning races. All of a sudden, she's out of a car having a baby. Watching that car go down the track and win, this isn't rhetorical either. Was this win bigger for Leah than it was for you?
I think personally it was, yes. I think she understands the sport so much better than I do, obviously. I mean, I've only been involved in it 5 years with her. But I think, and we haven't really talked about it. I mean, this morning she woke up and as much as I thought she was going to be in a great mood, she's just overwhelmed. I mean, she is the concrete foundation of our family. She's the one that's making decisions. She's organizing schedules, where we're eating dinner, all these things. And she's just, after a long weekend with a lot of people at the track, she just ran out of gas. And you know, I had the funeral yesterday. So we haven't even had a chance to debrief over the weekend. I literally left Sunday night and left her in Vegas, and I had to fly to Texas. But I literally think for her, she has wanted me to win a race so bad for me. She wants it for me. I want it for all of us. The thing that's really fun is you win the race, you go to the top end, you never get to see what's going on at the starting line until you see a video of it and seeing their reaction and seeing the reaction on her face. I mean, I literally was on the plane when I finally got to see that video, and I'm not embarrassed to say I cried on the plane watching her reaction. It meant so much to me, and to see her that excited. It's about all of us, and she just so bad wanted me to win a race because she knows how hard the team's trying. She knows how much effort and attention I'm putting into what I'm doing as a driver. She just wanted to see it pay off finally. So, you know, I think that was the reaction that we saw from her. And that's just another reason why I love her so much.
And any motorsport is extremely nuanced. There's so many little details that have to click on a race day in order to equal a win at the end of the day. But NHRA especially, so many minute details. And Tony, you did this essentially, I mean, with everything else combined, you did this on the tree. This was you 100%. You knocked that tree out of the stratosphere and went on to this win. That's really saying something too.
Yeah, until the finals. So first 2 rounds, yes, I did. I mean, I got my first hole shot win in round 1. I'm still a little confused on what they call it. I mean, Justin Ashley had a better reaction time, but we beat him to the line to win the second round. But we beat Steve Torrance on a hole shot in the second round too. Yeah. So, so we won our first 2. We outright won the first 2 rounds. We weren't second place and got to advance. We won both rounds, but in the finals, I cut an 082 light, which was the worst of the day for me. I knew when I hit the gas, I was late. I was sitting there wishing that thing down the racetrack, and I said, "Light come on!" I'm like, "Thank God!" And you know, then it goes to the crew chief. I mean, that's Neil and that's Mike that gave us a car to drive by those guys in the finals. So everybody on the team had a moment during the day where where they shined. And, I shined in the first couple rounds, and Neil and Mike shined with that race car in the finals and got us the win. So, that's a total team effort. That's what drag racing is about. It's, I'm used to being the guy that is the determining factor. And the only way I can do that in drag racing is on the light.
Hey, Tony, there are a number of drivers that have come through the Freak Nation, funny car drivers specifically. Robert Height was one of them, that they don't like the 4 wide nationals. They think it's kind of gimmicky, but from what I hear from you, you're loving these 4 wides. Where's the chasm
I don't know if
there?
he said love.
Okay, well, you enjoy the 4 wides.
He's right. I do love it. It's, I think for me, it reminds me of short track racing. It's like going to a sprint car race, and you don't have to win the heat race. You just got to finish, in the top 3 or 4 spots to transfer. So for us in drag racing, the 4 wide races, you don't have to win your quad. You just got to finish in the top 2 to go to the next round. Second round, you got to finish in the top 2 to get to the finals. And then in the finals, you're racing for the money. But I think a lot of times, for a lot of the drivers that don't like it, and at first I think they thought it was gimmicky. Now we got 3 races on the schedule this year. Both of the Charlotte races are 4 wide events, and one of those is in the countdown in the fall. So they're going to pay more attention to these 4 wides, obviously. But I think a lot of times, they're so disciplined in drag racing about the routine and their procedures and how they stage and everything that they do, and it's just one versus another. But now you throw a 4 wide in there. Now it's somewhat chaotic, because it's chaotic for the tuners and the crew chiefs when they're up there staging you and making the final adjustment to get you in there. And then for the drivers, now you've got to pay even extra attention to what lane you're in. If you're in lane 1 and lane 4, it's a lot easier because you're looking at the far left or far right bulb. Those drivers in lanes 2 and 3 have to be on top of it. And it sounds so easy to sit there and go, well, you're in lane 2, just look at the lane 2 bulb. It's the second one from the left. If you're in lane 3, it's the third one from the left. It's not that hard, but there's so much going on up there, and you're thinking about the cadence of the procedure because you're burning fuel, which is taking nose weight off the car. There's so many variables that the fans don't think about, but I think that's why the drivers not all of them embrace it. There's a lot of them that don't like it because it's just more chaotic with the staging and the lights. But and the reality of it too is, it's one less round to get to the finals. But when you get to the finals, it's not just one guy you got to beat. You got to beat 3 guys to win the race. And I'm sure that's part of the reason they don't like it as well.
With all the emotion that has gone on with this win, your first NHRA Top Fuel win, is this the most emotional experience you've had in motorsports? And if not, what kind of came close to this?
I think it does, but for different reasons. There were a lot of reasons Sunday. Obviously, having one of our sponsors that's a close personal friend of mine to lose his wife the week of the race last week. And then literally 15 minutes before we rolled up for the finals, one of my best friends in Bakersfield, California, sent me a text message that his father passed away. And, to sit there and have to focus and go do your job. And, you win the race, and the immediate celebration, you're thinking about the win and what it means to you and what it means to the team and the sport and everything about it. And then by the time you get down and you're doing that second stage appearance where, the fans are coming around and Leah comes up with Dom, you're thinking about, oh my gosh, my family, this isn't about me, and it's not just about the team. It's now my first experience outside of Leah and I, of us having a family, and she brings Dom up there and losing it, and then going to do the photos with the team and the car, and Dad and my wife and Dom are there, and just the whole family atmosphere of it. It just kept changing perspectives. But it's just crazy how, it was very special just for very different reasons than before. I still think the 2011 NASCAR Cup Championship and the USAC Triple Crown, the night that we secured the Triple Crown in USAC, those 2 events with the Homestead race and that are hard to beat. They're just extremely hard to beat. Everything it took to run 3 different classes all year and race for 3 national championships and win all 3 of those was unreal. And then the drama and the challenge to win that race at Homestead. There was enough drama in that Homestead race for 5 races. And it all happens in one race, and literally win the race. Carl runs second. We tie in the points, and we win it on a tiebreaker because of the events that we won in the playoffs. So,
right.
it's hard to beat those two. But this one had that same level of intensity, but just for way different reasons.
Hey, Tony, was I right when you cut the umbilical cord? Did it kind of feel like a half cooked asparagus when you cut it?
I've never half cooked asparagus, first of all, but it wasn't fun by any means. There wasn't anything fun about that. And I didn't screw around. I'm like, I got it wide open. I got it crammed in there as far as I could, one and done. It was chop suey gone.
Chop suey gone.
Yeah.
And you're happy that you did that, right?
No, not at all. She's happy I did that, so that's great. There was nothing fun about that. Now, I'm sure down the road it'll be like, oh, this is great. I was the one that I detached him from his mom. There's going to be a point where he's going to go, man, why didn't you do that sooner? I don't know what he's going to say, but it was cool to be a part of that. And it was cool to do the dad stuff. But I was totally happy just sitting in the lobby with a small cooler with some sandwiches and a couple beverages and come in when it was over. But I was very grateful and glad that I was in the delivery room with her.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
This is a paid sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your link to your exclusive offer. Text the word SPEED to 200-300. That's SPEED to 200-300. SPEED to 200-300.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
Freak Nation, get this. General Tire has launched a comprehensive Shield Plus Advantage plan for passenger and light truck tires. What that means for you is when you purchase General Tires, the Shield Plus Advantage plan lets you enjoy a complete package of multiple warranties and coverage to get the most from your tires. The plan applies to all General Tire passenger and light truck tires purchased as replacements in the U.S. and Canada with DOT serial numbers. For more information, hit them up on GeneralTire.com. General Tire, the official tire of Speed Freaks for 2 decades.
This is Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's not like other videos. It's 1.25 miles long, and no 4 turns are the same. One wrong move, and it can bite you. It's not your normal racetrack. Some racers love it. Some hate it. Champions respect it. June 14th and 15th is not just Father's Day weekend. It's the Bomarito Automotive Group 500.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Spring forward with real unlimited data from Straight Talk this tax season and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. So you can stream games during Mad March hours, check the weather for April showers, and watch gardening videos about May flowers. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 4/15/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires purchase of single line gold unlimited plan or higher. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
There is less than 1/100th of an inch of motor oil protecting your car's engine.
Friction and heat causes engine oil to experience thermal breakdown, weakening its ability to protect the engine and its parts. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer is specially formulated to resist thermal breakdown, protect vital engine parts, and extend the life of your engine. It also stops smoking, knocking, and oil consumption in worn engines. Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Keep that engine alive.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Freak Nation, talked about it earlier this hour, and I'll do it again. Need more data to stream Speed Freaks, your favorite jams on a loop? Switch to Straight Talk. Get real, unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart and at straighttalk.com. Coming up, we're going to see just a gnarly freaking boat accident. Lake Havasu. A couple of reasons why I wanted, well, for one, the freaking video is just gnarly. Two, Crash and I covered this desert storm, they call it, where it's, Crasher calls it a poker race. I think poker race is a part of it. Poker run, poker run. But this is where a bunch of swinging D's bring out their big old boats and try and go, we'll go fast, we'll go real fast on Lake Havasu. I want to go fast, I want to go. And these are some gnarly freaking boats that do this.
They're amazing cigarette boats. They are just, they're gorgeous. Everyone has different horsepower, but they are tuned perfectly.
So we're going to show that video coming up in moments. I do want to say this before we get out of here, that Ed Pink, renowned engine builder, according to Hot Rod Magazine and others, has passed. He was instrumental in the Hemi with Top Fuel and numerous championships with USAC sprint cars, building engines for sprint cars. Worked with Tony Stewart, J.J. Yaley, Casey Kane. Ed Pink has passed. So we got Beat the Freaks, and I had Brad Keselowski as my quasi long shot.
How'd that work out for you?
Well, at least I put my freaking man junk on the table, said, look, I'm going to go for it on this. The guy who has had success before.
Oh, so he might be a 6-time winner, fine, but he's had a crap year.
Yeah, because I know that all three of you happy bastards had Austin Cindric win the son of a bitch.
Right. Hey, Cole told us Fords were going to be good. And I don't think I listened. I don't think I picked a single Ford.
What does Brad Keselowski drive, Crash?
He's not a Ford. What is
it?
He is.
Yeah, he is Jack Roush.
He is a Ford. That's right.
Yeah. So Beat the Freaks. If you follow us on X, you know that we drop it Friday nights or Saturday mornings where you can bet against the Freaks and try and win a set of General Tires. Be sure to follow us on X at Speed Freaks. And we allow you, Freak Nation, one member, to be a part of this and hopefully take home a set of General Tires. Cole Cusimano, how did we do this week, my friend?
Pretty darn good.
Yeah?
Darn good, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, look at
that.
Oh.
Yeah.
We call it a back-to-back where I come from.
Well,
back-to-back dubs.
If you're listening to us on the Freak Nation, Cole Cusimano takes the win with 94 points. And our...
Oh, my goodness.
Josh George, our contestant, 49... I don't know if I've seen our contestant have the lowest results like this.
All of us.
That's Talladega.
Are nasty points.
Of us
are
Who
bad.
did Josh have? We can get out of this now.
Zane Smith, Brad Keselowski, and Ricky Stenhouse.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oops.
And I had Logano, Blaney, and I had Kyle Larson.
Uh-oh. But now that Logano's been DQ'd...
Ooh, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I made this graphic before the official results.
Right.
Oof.
Wait, that's so right. Oh, we screwed up. That's why it's the unofficial.
The team screwed up. The team screwed up.
Hang on, let me go back because does that mean I won now? Does that mean I actually won?
It might actually.
Let's see. Hang on. Let me go back.
Oh, that's true. It'll only change Cole's score.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Just me.
There we go. Oh, nope. Kenny still got us. All right.
Okay,
Because he did not take Joey Logano or Ryan Preece.
I took William Byron. I took Brad Keselowski and was it Blaney? I didn't have Blaney. No, it can't be Blaney if I had 84 points.
I was going to say, yeah, no.
Maybe I had.
I think you had Denny Hamlin.
I actually think I had Logano.
Uh-oh.
So I may.
Oh no, it was Logano.
I think I had Logano as well. Yeah. So Richie.
So both of you
Does
guys
Richie
are
get the
going
win?
down.
Does that mean that I win? Hang on.
Richie,
Yeah, let me bring
no
this
way.
up. Let's go. Yeah, 62 points, and I would get the win, which I think would be
Get
the
me
lowest.
off the single shot, Richie.
What? Hang on. Yeah, there we go.
He's too excited.
My bad. I got too excited. Hello, where the hell? Oh my God. There we go. Jesus Christ.
Happy Sunday night.
Sorry. Yeah, that means so. Yeah, well, Cole, do the dang official results after your Amici meeting tonight, and then we can update the Freak Nation, and then put out the new graphic that for the first time ever, or at least first time this year, I win. Let's go.
Golf claps.
Congratulations. Yes. Okay.
And again, Cole Cusimano with the Money Stop, which drops Friday mornings, 7:00 a.m. Eastern Time. You called the Zane Smith action. Nice work.
Yes, he was my sleeper and my value pick for this week.
Yep.
Went out and got the pole. Had a great shot at the top 10, but even beyond that, we highlighted the top 5 finishers. And although Preece and Logano got DQ'd, it still counts in the betting world. So, yes.
Okay.
Wait,
yes,
really?
It does. Yep.
Oh, because they pay out both, right?
Yep, they pay unofficial and official.
right.
So, if
that's
you
strange.
tailed us and you bet Austin Cindric for the win, or Logano, Byron, Larson, or Preece for a top 5 finish, you made out pretty good because those odds this week were really, really favorable for bettors.
I like that.
Keep following along.
The Money Stop. The Money Stop.
Freak Nation, YouTube, at Official Speed Freaks, you can catch the full Tony Stewart interview. It's about 33 minutes worth of Tony Stewart. If you missed the two-parter that we had earlier this hour. Last hour, we had Kyle Busch and Austin Cindric in there. Again, go back and watch it on YouTube or our Facebook page, Speed Freaks. And this video will be on there.
No.
We talked about it a few minutes ago, where it's called Desert Storm, where it's a party on Lake Havasu, a Saturday and Sunday, always in April, where a lot of rich men and women bring out their big freaking boats, sometimes 4 Mercs on the backside of 1,000 horsepower. It's bananas what these guys are doing. And some of them will reach upwards of about 200 miles. That's how long this freaking Lake Havasu is. It's just a knockoff of the Colorado River. But that's what they'll do, is they'll get on this damn lake and run as fast as they can. And sometimes this happens. Richie, why don't you go ahead and play that video?
Holy
Yes.
Oh, yeah, here's another view.
This is not Tom Cruise and his latest stunt for the new Mission Impossible movie. This is real.
Hard to believe.
Look at how it landed.
Look at the capsule still,
Yeah.
or not capsule, the canopy still on.
And it landed right side up.
It's really impressive,
It
honestly.
is. It's like, what?
But first time seeing that, my jaw was literally on the floor looking at that
Yeah.
thing. It looks fake.
It does.
Looks
that
AI
happened
generated.
this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is not AI. No.
And there were and according to news sources, the pilot and co-pilot are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Covering drag boats for 15 years, like I have, I've seen my share of accidents similar to that, where a lot of times the dudes didn't walk away.
Right.
Frankly. It gets personal when you see these guys. If you haven't covered motorsports before, like we have, Crasher, where you talk about up close and personal, where you get to know these individuals, and when there's an accident, you hold your breath to find out who it was, and then if they're okay. With us doing Speed Freaks for 25 years, we've lost some individuals that we were friends with. Daryl Russell comes to mind.
Daryl, yep.
Eric Medlin.
Mm-hmm.
Both NHRA Top Fuel Funny Car drivers.
Dan Weldon.
Dan Weldon was one.
Rick Huseman, same day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple of drag boat drivers, one in Top Fuel and one in, I think, Flats that we lost. So seeing accidents like that, we got about another minute. Accidents like that, it just kind of sends chills. And we wouldn't post anything like that, frankly, if anybody was injured.
Heck no.
No, it just kind of shows you the resilience of the human body, being able to flip like that and
knowing that they walked away, or as Cole said, they swam away.
Yeah.
Knowing that, now I kind of want to ask him, oh my God, when you were upside down, what was going through your head? I mean, just
took flight, literally.
Massive flight.
Bruh. All right, guys, we'll do it again next Sunday night. I will be live from Texas Motor Speedway, hopefully with your NASCAR Cup Series winner and Xfinity Series winner, and I think Kevin Harvick's going to join us as well next Sunday night.
Look at you,
and again
just
on
rolling it off.
Mondays, 12 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Racer Network. I still want to say shoot the juice.
Ah, the Statman phrase.
Yeah, back in the day. It's all right. We'll find a hook for, hey, Koku Samana.
Oh.
See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
From the labs at Lucas Oil Products, Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant. For every fill-up of gas or diesel, add one 16-ounce can of Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment. One bottle can treat a tank of up to 21 gallons. Its special additives allows a better fuel burn to help increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil, it works.
This is a paid sponsorship, not an endorsement by this program or station. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplane.us. Texting and rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've thought about trying Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications, you probably know that they can be expensive and hard to get access to. Not anymore, thanks to Zelfie. Zelfie is 100% online, and if you qualify, their professionals can prescribe medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive. That's right, no long waits at the doctor's office or pharmacy. Everything is shipped right to your door. Zelfie can also provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less. All you have to do to get started is send them a text. Just text SPEED to 200-300. Don't wait. Text right now for your